Okay, so hello and welcome to this special session on how to meet the objectives and manifest desires with grace, joy, and ease. I am going to share the screen because I prepared some slides for you, and we'll get going. So I'd like to start by asking you to imagine how your life would be when you meet all your objectives with grace, joy, and ease. And I would imagine most people will respond to this question that the life will be wonderful, amazing, but there is a big, big, big but. It's impossible. And I agree. I agree with everyone who thinks it's not possible or it's hard or it's not just like not the way we live, because that is true. That's not how we used to live. That's not how we are living now. And most people, actually, probably all people, can't meet all their objectives, and especially not with grace, joy, and ease. So this session hopefully is going to reverse this and is going to change the way you look at your objectives, your desires, the way you look at manifesting things in your life, and the way you look at your life, of course, to improve it. Last month, I was one of the speakers at the Business Excellence Conference, and I was the speaker in the second day. So I was listening in the first day to all these great, amazing speakers, and I just wrote down a few of the advice that they gave. And I put them here on the screen. And obviously, because we are living in a world with loads of change and transformation, and things are not as they used to be. A lot of the things could be uncertain and could take people by surprise. Then the speakers were like, oh, you need to adapt. You need to adapt to what's going on. You need to adapt to the future. But nobody really said how. And obviously it's normal to adapt, but people don't say how. Then the next point was to be prepared for crisis or for the unexpected. And we already know that there could be a lot of crises. We can expect a crisis, and we can clearly expect a lot of unexpected. So it's, again, normal to be prepared for such things. But then I'll ask you, there will be crises or there will be unexpected things happening. How do you prepare? How do you prepare for if you think about the world, a new crisis? How do you prepare for a new war or a new bomb or a new pandemic or a new disaster? How do you prepare for a tsunami? How do you prepare for living in like 5 degrees during the summer? Or how do you prepare to live in 20 degrees during the winter? Or if you think about yourself in your life, how do you prepare for, let's say, a tree falling on your car? Or how do you prepare for the roof of your car, of your house to crack? Or how do you prepare for a pipe to burst in your apartment? It's absolutely impossible. You can't be a plumber. You can't learn to be a plumber. You can't buy everything potentially needed to replace a pipe in your flat. It's absolutely impossible to prepare for unexpected. However, there is something you can do, and I will be sharing my view during this session. Another great advice was don't repeat the same mistakes. That's obvious. I don't know anyone that wants to repeat the mistakes, but most people end up repeating the same mistakes. Most people end up being in similar situations over and over again with different people, or not quite identical, but still feeling stressed and anxiety and being afraid of something, or having a conflict with someone, or something not right. And they seem to be learning some from their mistakes, but not the whole thing. And the mistake, even though you learn, you still make similar mistakes. Another great advice was show empathy. And I was thinking about myself many years ago when I didn't know this word. I literally didn't know that empathy was a word and what it meant. And then as I became more aware and I wanted to change, I'm like, yeah, give me some empathy. Give me 5 grams of empathy or 1 kilogram of empathy. I wanted to show empathy, but how? Because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to show. I could not relate to people. I could not understand others. And to be honest, I did not care about others because I had too many things on my shoulders and too many challenges and problems that I had to deal with for myself. Too many of my needs were not met. So how could I think of others? How could I show empathy and care for others when I had many problems? Again, it's impossible. And the other one that I really enjoyed was like, don't criticize others. And again, I relate to that because I used to criticize everything and everyone. I could literally not enjoy a meal out with some friends because I could see a lady walking and her hair was a mess. And I could, in my head, all I was thinking was, oh, this lady has a mess in her hair rather than being nice and tidy and organized. Or I could not enjoy a drink with some friends in a pub because there was a crack on the wall. And all I could think of was, oh, this crack, the owners of the pub, they need to fix that crack. And so on. So criticizing was a huge drawback for me my whole life because I was raised and born to observe what I didn't like and to fix. So, of course, if you observe what you don't like and you think, oh, I'd like to fix this and I'd like to change that, how do you draw the line between criticizing and just observing and wanting to fix? Again, it's very hard. So all this great advice is very good, but the question is how? And during this session, that's my objective with you, to show you how to embrace the advice that others give you, how to make changes that you know you need to make, and it's impossible for you to make. And if you think that's great, and if you would like to get that, please just give me a thumb up or just say yes in the chat so I know that you are with me and you're following it and it's relevant to you. Super. Thank you for the interaction. So I'd like to start this session with a question which I asked myself a long time ago. What's the difference between millionaires and billionaires? Of course, everyone wants to have more money and everyone wants to have more money with ease, but not everyone can. Not everyone can be a millionaire, let alone billionaires. So answering this, and there is a reason why I start this session with this question, because it is linked to what I'm going to share with you. Now, let me ask you, how would you like your life with more money? So that you literally don't care how much things cost and you buy anything you want whenever you want. Would that be good for you? Yes, no? You can write in the chat yes or no. So the answer to this question, what's the difference between millionaires and billionaires, is from obviously billionaires. So millionaires work hard, billionaires innovate. That's Elon Musk. Millionaires follow paths, billionaires create highways, and that's Warren Buffett. Millionaires seek comfort, and billionaires embrace discomfort, and that's Richard Branson. From my point of view, millionaires do what they know best. Billionaires are open to new. And when I say open, I'm not saying just like an opportunity, which of course they are open to opportunities, but it's open to accept that they don't know anything or everything, open to new ideas, open to new solutions, open to new perspectives, open to new ways of looking at life, etc. And that's the, let's say, the leading the path towards what I'd like to share with you, because what I share with you is new. I have not heard anywhere, I have not heard anyone talking about what I'm going to share with you today. So new millionaires and billionaires harness the power of energy and spirituality for abundance. And there is a reason why I said new in here, because from my point of view, I believe that the old way of making money for anyone, including especially billionaires and millionaires, is going to change and has already started to change. And I've seen a lot of the people that have been comfortable with money the whole life, have been earning very, very good, that now they are shaken. And even if money is not important to you, abundance doesn't necessarily mean money. Abundance really means about living well, living free, living healthy, happy, fulfilled. Everything that you appreciate in life has a link to abundance from my point of view. So my promise for this session is that you will understand the key to success now. As I said, the success now is different to the success a while back, and achieving success now and in future is different to what it was before. Why results are not as expected, and why it's harder, why people have more challenges, and why people have different challenges from the past. Why people who have had money, as I said, are being challenged, especially about money or material things, but there are also a lot of them that I know are challenged about relationships, about businesses, jobs, health, etc. And the main part is that I would like to show you that magic is possible, and is possible for everyone, not just for some people. Yes, it's not an overnight thing, but it's much easier and quicker than you think. So, because we are talking about meeting objectives today, do you have an objective? And here it's a yes or no question. And I would like you to write in the chat, yes or no. Now, this is the question, by the way, that only has one answer, and the answer is only yes. Because if you didn't have an objective or more, you wouldn't be here, of course. And also, because if you don't have objectives, what's the point in living? That's not living without objectives, without wanting something, without having desires and having dreams. So I'd like to show you, I am from Romania, and I started doing a lot of seminars online and offline about online marketing. I had to learn online marketing a long time ago, because I had a brilliant idea to set up a business online with business growth, a platform with business growth tools, and nobody could market it. So I was paying different people. I went to different courses, and in the end, I realized that I had no choice but to learn marketing myself, and I became pretty good at it. So I was the one back then who brought the concept of Facebook ads in Romania, who brought the concept of sales funnels in Romania, and I was doing a lot of presentations online and offline. And what was interesting was that when I was doing an event online, I would have less people buying. So the conversion rate for the online event was very, very low, close to nothing. But when I had an event in the room, most people were interested, and a lot of the people were buying whatever I was offering during that seminar or presentation. At the end of it, of course. So I just couldn't understand why. And it took me few years of trial and error, and I was trying all sorts of different strategies, and I was going to gurus and courses, and even had private sessions, private coaching on business, on strategy, on sales funnels, on Facebook ads, to adapt, to change. I just could not figure out why my presentations in the room were producing good results, and the presentations online were producing almost zero, very, very poor results. To then discover that I had this belief that it is not possible to build trust online. of course, I was not aware of it. And I had it in a private session that someone said to me, do you believe that you can build trust online? I said, well, of course, I'm doing all of that. But when it came to the real truth, and when it came to testing my belief, and there are techniques to test the belief, and it's not about here, it's about the energy of that belief, it came negative. So basically, I did not believe that I could build trust online. So what's the main thing? What's the one very important step when you make a sale, everyone knows, is to build trust, because nobody buys from people that they don't trust and respect, of course. So without trust, no sale. And that's why I could not sell. And look at this. This is a video I did about 2.5 years ago. It was during the pandemic. And look at the number of views, 2.4 million views, and 71,000 engagement, likes, share, comments, etc. So I changed that belief, and then I started building credibility and trust online, and then you can see the result. The result is that some of my videos went viral. I did not put any money into that, and I got to millions of views. This is an example, is not the only one. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying to show you that it's possible by changing one thing to change the results completely. And this video is the start of our more than 50 programs that we've done over 3 years now. And we filled these programs, special sessions, courses, without paying any Facebook ads, without paying for any advertisement online, just from my videos, which if you are in online marketing or in online businesses, or if you tried anything online, that is a super, super, super cool achievement. And that is possible by changing something. So going back to your objective, because that was just the introduction, I'd like you to think of one particular objective that you have right now, and just have it in your mind. Okay, was waiting for you to sink in, to have it there, clear. So let's go to analyze what happens when people want to achieve an objective. Obviously, in order to achieve an objective or meet a need, meet an objective, is to create some action, to do some action, to physically move something, do something, obvious. But what's behind the action? Well, behind the action is a decision, which you take, of course. Shall I do this or shall I do that? You think, and then eventually you decide, and then the decision leads to action. But what's behind the decision? It's your thoughts. Obviously, when you think and consider, it's thoughts that happen in your mind. Some thoughts are conscious, so you're aware of them. Some thoughts are not conscious, so you're not aware of them. These are the thoughts are the ones that influence decision, regardless of them being conscious or unconscious. Like, for example, as I said earlier, in my example with the building trust online and selling from the webinars versus in the room, people in the webinar did not know why they were not buying. They knew that they needed what I was offering, because that's why they would come to the webinar, but they did not know what was behind their thinking process and action process. It was the thought. It was the thought. They thought that I did not inspire them with credibility and trust so that they can give me the money and come to the program that I was selling. It was that simple. Now, what's behind the thoughts? And that is emotions. People feel. So in this case, people were feeling something that was triggering those thoughts that they were aware of not. And they could be aware of the emotions or not. And now, these action, decision, thoughts, it's something that everyone can relate to. Emotions, probably a lot of the people understand that there are emotions and there are people teaching emotions. But from now on, it might be a little bit tricky. So please stay with me, because I'm going to go into details, and I'm going to give specific examples to all of this, so they all make sense. What's behind the emotions is the story. Is the story that is in your head, is the story that you tell yourself about the objective, about the emotions and the thoughts and the decision and the action and the objective, which again, you may or may not be aware of. And what's behind the story is what happened in the past. What happened in your life, events that we are not happy with had a consequence and created or led to the story that you say to yourself, which then leads into all the others. And again, I am going to go into details and I'm going to explain this. What's behind the past? It's your inheritance. And this is the key. I'm not talking about the inheritance as in you inherit a flat or a house or money or material things. I am thinking and talking about the inheritance that is within you. It's in your DNA. And it's easy to think of like, oh, okay, I inherit some characteristics from my mother and the father. That's everyone is aware of this. But there is much more to this. You don't only inherit from your parents, you inherit from your grandparents and grandparents, and it's 7 generations before that you still inherit stuff from. And in addition to what you inherit from your ancestors, it's the soul that comes with some memory, that comes with some baggage, that comes with something. Most people think of soul like, oh, this is wonderful. It's something beautiful and untouchable and not really understanding, but it's nice. It is nice, but the soul comes with something that you need to be aware of. That inheritance is the key to your success. That inheritance is really the seed to what happens in your life, which then leads to you creating stories, which leads to emotions, which leads to thoughts about decisions and action about something that you want. So the key to, the only way that the objective is met is when all of these are aligned. Actually, no, that's wrong. The only way to meet the objective with grace, joy, and ease is that all of these are aligned. If they are disaligned, or if there's something that is not aligned, then you can still meet the objective, but you meet it working hard or with a lot of effort, with a lot of like pushing and pulling and struggle, with a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And it's possible that you meet the objective by giving up something else with another cost. And the cost could be health issues, could be too much stress or too much anxiety or losing the relationship, which was my case. It's something that, of course, you don't realize, and you don't, it's very hard to see the consequences or see the link between, there is a lot of sun now. It's very hard to see the link between fulfilling an objective, working hard or with effort, and something that, a loss that you have in your life. But they are linked. And there is a lot of research now. There are a lot of scientists that are studying all these things, and it's quite new. It's called quantum physics. It's a new, quantum physics, from my point of view, is where the normal physics that we learn in school and we were aware of stops. Everything that is beyond our understanding is quantum physics. And there are studies, and it's more and more information out there that talks about this links and connections. Not many people are talking about inheritance and the soul, what the soul brings, and the DNA, what the DNA brings that influences your life. But it's something that a lot of research is being done into at the moment. So I'm going to now give a little bit of examples on this picture. so that it makes more sense. I take it to the next level of understanding. And by the way, I am a former investment banker. I am a very logical person. I'm an entrepreneur. If someone talked to me about DNA and soul and wishy-washy stuff, even 5 years ago, not to mention 10 years ago, I would say, go away. I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't understand. I don't even want to listen, because you know what? I went to proper school. I did an MBA. I have business studies. My father was an entrepreneur. I know what I'm doing. You, with this wobbly boo-hoo-hoo stuff, you don't know what you're talking about. Go away. But I changed my perception, and now I'm even so keen into this because it has changed my life, and the life I live now, I did not even think about when I started into all of this. Of course, I was in pain, and that's why I started paying attention to this. And it's a way of living that you cannot describe to a person that doesn't live that way. But when you get to live that way, you realize that you're free. You're free, not just financially, like you can do things, we can go on holiday or buy another thing, but you're free from the mental constraints. You're free from the mental stories and constructs. You're free from a heaviness that you carry on yourself, in yourself, without being aware of. But hopefully this session is bringing more awareness, and will bring more light into inside and outside for you. So let's look into action. Someone that likes to control, which was my case when I had many employees and a bigger business. And well, the whole life, basically, I like to control. I like to know everything that was going on. I like to know what was doing when, how. And like, for example, as a consulting business, I wanted to control every document that was going out of my business. Because I didn't trust my employees and I only trusted myself. So I had to check, even one comma was not right, I had to change it. That desire to control and the need to control obviously influenced my actions. So I had to do much more actions in my business. I was the one being super busy because I had to check everything from everyone. Also, I could not employ all the people that were required and needed in the business. And I was the one struggling, and I was the one holding the business from growing because I had to be in control of everything. Now, when and it doesn't have to be a business. Yeah, people want to control the relationship with the husband or wife, the relationship with the kids, around work, around house, everything, or some parts of their lives. Now, when it comes to decisions, of course, they are influenced by many things. And I want to give you an example. We are being told to be independent as women. And if you're a man, you want to be independent anyway. And most men don't ask for directions or help because they were brought up to be independent. But now, even us women are being taught and kind of influenced to be independent. So if you operate from this, oh, I am independent, I can do things, then again, the decisions that you take are more in favor, are favoring more of your involvement and more of your work and more heavyweights on your shoulders versus others. And again, I want to share with you an example. I remember that I was in the office in Romania. I had employees at the time. And I went with a friend to Starbucks, and some of the employees wanted coffee. So I bought 4 coffees and with a tray. And I remember it was summer. I had a bag around my neck, and I was carrying my phone out of the bag. I was carrying the keys to the car and the coffees. And as I was walking to the car with all these coffees and like struggling because I didn't have enough hands to carry everything, my friend was looking at me and she was like, Osana, I'm not carrying anything, not even a purse. I left it in your office. And look at you. And you're not asking me to help. Why? I'm like, because I can do it. I'm independent. I'm an independent woman. I should do it all by myself. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, what a bullshit story was that? Why would I not ask her to help, at least with the phone or with the keys? Why would I want to struggle just because I was told I have to be independent? And hopefully you start to think of these experiences related to your life, and when you wanted to be independent, when you didn't want to accept help. And by the way, accepting help is something that we are not aware of. And it's again around the decision area. And it was literally just the other day when a client of mine from programs from a long time ago wanted to do some sessions, private sessions with me. And she said, okay, we'll do on that day. And the day before, she said, Ozana, I'm sorry, I have to cancel. I really need you. I really want you, but I have to cancel the session because I can't pay you because this and this and this and this, and I have no money. So I said, okay, don't worry. I'm going to send you love and light so that there will be money coming to you for your transformation. Because I know money for transformation is always, 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 always there. The universe, God, the creator, the divine, the higher self, whatever you want to call it, is always supporting you in your transformation. It's just that you as a person, or we as human beings, can't see that. So I started sending her love and positive energy and light. And I could see, I have these gifts now to see the energy of the other person. And I can read into the energy of the other person, in the aura of the other person. So I could literally see her like with the two hands, like stopping anything that I was sending. So I messaged her and I said, do you realize that you don't accept help? And she's like, yes, my grandmother told me you have everything you need. We give you everything you need. Don't take anything from anyone and don't allow anyone to help you because we have everything and we help you. And if you accept help from others, then you create an obligation and you don't want to create any obligation to anyone. So that's a story that she heard from her grandmother, which then was running like a program, like a computer program was running in her background, and she was never, ever accepting help for anything. So how do you make decisions when you have such a background program running in your head? It's not quite well. Then let's go to the thoughts. Most people, actually everyone in this world is busy. Because it's all super, super fast and faster and faster and faster, more things to do, even though we have some technology that is supposed to help us, is actually even harder to get to understand all technology to make it work together. So every solution comes with some hurdles and drawback. So we are busier and busier and busier. And the thoughts of being busy are normal, they became a normality. Everyone is busy around you, and you believe that being busy in your life is normal. That is a thought again that is running in your at the back of your mind, that busy is normal, that I'm busy, that's okay. But there are other thoughts behind, and a lot of the people, because I do a lot of private sessions now, and I identify what's behind, what's the root cause of the unfulfillment of why do people not get what they want. And a lot of the people believe that only when they are busy, they are important and their life has a meaning. So they associate being busy with living a meaningful life. And then if we go into more details, a lot of the people want challenges and want obstacles because they believe that unless they overcome challenges and obstacles, they're not worth it. They are not worth living. They are not worth their life. That's how they prove to themselves and to the others that they are worth it, which is all rubbish. And it's all something that we're not aware, or most people are not aware of these thoughts. Then if we go into emotions, again, it's many emotions, many people teach emotions, but I look at them from a different perspective, and I'll share that. One emotion is fear. or a set of emotions is fear. And a lot of the people, actually most people, have either the fear of success or the fear of failure. So most people don't meet their objectives because they stop on the way. Some people don't even dare to dream of objectives and desires anymore. Some people take one step or two steps and they stop. Some people take 5 steps and they stop just before getting it because of one of these fears or both. They are afraid of failure or they are afraid of success. But these emotions, they come in the soul because of the weight that the soul carries. And people are not aware of this, of course. Now, the story, and it's probably thousands of stories that every single person tells to themselves. And if you hear that man is like, oh, what am I going to do? I have the solution, so don't worry, just be patient. For example, one of the stories that was running in my whole life was that you have to fight to get what you want. This is something that my mom told me. Of course, I was not aware. She was telling me many times when I was young, Ozana, you have to fight to get what you want. You have to be strong. You have to show the others that you're better. You have to be in competition with others, and you've got to win. And this fight stayed with me during the whole life. And I was fighting, of course. I was fighting even when it was not necessary. And I remember people were telling me, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting him or her? I'm like, oh, to get that. But they were like, you get that anyway. Why do you need the fight? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I need to do it my way. And my way was fight. And I was creating conflicts. My whole life was, I was creating conflicts. And I realized that I was creating conflicts even when I was not in the room. Like friends of mine or clients or partners in business were having conflicts, something to do with me, when I was not there. Because conflict is obviously part of the fight. And the story that I was running in my head without knowing is, I have to create conflicts. Conflicts are good. Without conflict, I can't get what I want. Without conflict, nothing is possible. Nothing is happening. Conflicts are driving change. Conflicts are driving progress. In your way, it might be different. In your way, it might be that suffering is driving progress, or lack leads to you evolving and progressing and living a better life. Could be anything, right? These are mine, and everyone. That's the beauty in a way, and the hurdle in another way. But be patient with me. That's why there are no courses on this, because every single person is unique, and every single person comes with a specific inheritance, because obviously the soul is unique, and the parents and the grandparents and so on are unique. So the mix is unique. The inheritance is unique. Therefore, what you say to yourself, the stories that you say to yourself, and the emotions and the soul and everything are unique to you. So that's why you need to identify. That's why no recipe can work. And I remember that I bought so many trainings, courses, programs on making money, selling online, growing business, etc. And they were only working for the person that was selling them, but not for me, because I was not him. Because his inheritance, he had resolved his inheritance, whereas I hadn't. So that's why they were not producing the results for me. And then as I started to sort out from my inheritance, then I started to see results from whatever I was deploying as strategies. So going now to past, which is what's leading into the story. Most people, actually everyone, has failed. Bigger, smaller, more, less, but many times. Everyone tried something and couldn't achieve, couldn't get it. So it was a failure in their head, because it's not necessarily a failure as such. So most people, and I would probably say everyone, got to the conclusion that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, therefore I'm a failure. If I couldn't do this and this, therefore I can't do the other one. Oh, I've already tried this and this and this and this, therefore it's not working. And even worse, they take their failures to their friends, family, and colleagues, clients, etc. And I know that I was responsible for that too. And I remember I did many workshops with entrepreneurs, from startups to established businesses. I had about 60,000 people that were coming into my workshops. Some were paid, some were free, over a period of time, of course. And some of them, in certain situations, I was telling them, this is not possible. So don't do it that way, or don't do this at all. And that was very, very wrong. The reason why I was saying that was because I had tried and I had failed. It didn't work for me. But that doesn't mean it doesn't work for somebody else. See how we transfer our thoughts, our emotions, our, let's say, failures into a much broader life around us. So yeah, these are conclusions. Another conclusion, like for example, when my parents divorced and I was 14, I had no idea about this. I only uncovered it again in the last 5 years or 7. I concluded that there are no relationships for life. So every single relationship I entered into, I entered with this belief, with this story, that there are no relationships for life. And therefore, at some point, the relationship stopped. I even stopped wanting to get married, because I was like, it's no point getting married because it's more messy and more difficult to break up. So I better just stay in a relationship without getting married, because there are no life relationships, because that was my conclusion. That was my story from something in the past, from my parents splitting up. Now, with the inheritance, that's the fun piece. If it wasn't fun so far, we have an inheritance, as I said, in ourselves, which comes from the DNA, from the parents, from the soul, but it's also a collective inheritance. Like, for example, I was born in Romania, and I was born with the poorness consciousness. I was born believing and thinking and behaving and acting and living as a poor person. That's a collective consciousness in Romania and other countries, of course. In the West, for example, in the UK, not everyone has this poverty consciousness, but everyone has the scarcity consciousness. There are not enough resources. There are not enough clients. If someone buys from a product from somebody else, they don't buy from me. Therefore, I have to compete and I have to convince that person to buy from me and not from them. There is not enough gold. There is not enough electricity. There is not enough. So I'm just giving examples from the person's point of view, like, oh, okay, there is not enough food for the trip or something, to there is not enough money to buy the sofa and go on holiday. So I have to choose the sofa or the holiday. To the point where there is not enough at the country level, at like global level. This scarcity consciousness is making us live and act and behave in certain ways, and has an impact on everything. The poverty, in my case, and the Romanians have this consciousness of poverty, act differently. And I know a lot of Romanians that have made money, and they will say, what are you talking about, Ozana? I am rich. I am a Romanian and I'm rich. Fuck you. Yes, that is true. They made a lot of money, but they still have the poverty consciousness. And the reason why they made a lot of money was because they were afraid to not be poor. They were afraid to not have enough money to pay for their bread or their electricity or whatever. And I know a lot of people Romanians and not even many other nationalities, that even though they have a lot of money, they're super, super tight. They don't even buy a coffee outside, and they make it in their own house because it's cheaper in the house, even though it doesn't really matter if they spend £5 or £10 for a coffee because they have enough anyway. Or someone in particular I'm thinking of, she has enough money to live a very good life for the rest of her life and enough to live to her children. And she still complains every single time I speak to her. The first subject she brings in, everything is so expensive. Oh, I had to pay this, and I had to pay this, and I had to pay this, and I had to pay this, because she lives in the poverty consciousness. So unless we change these, unless we change what's bad or what's influencing us negatively at the level of inheritance, everything else is only a partial fix, only a fix for a period of time. Yes, we can go to an NLP course, or we can go to whatever training, and we can learn. For example, I was tempted when I had the breakup in my relationship, marriage, although we were not married after 12 years together. I realized that we could not communicate amongst ourselves. There was literally no communication. And there was someone selling a course on how to communicate with your partner. And I was tempted to do that course. And I realized that the course was acting on or teaching on action decision, maybe a little bit on how to change the emotions so that you can communicate better during the time that you can you communicate. But then afterwards you would go back like, but he still did this and this and this and this and this, so the emotion would come back. So everything that you've learned, everything that everyone teaches is great, is amazing, but has some limitations unless you work here, unless you understand the importance of change into this space. So the change, if you want to change anything in your life, the change starts here in the inheritance. And of course, you'll say, how do I change my inheritance? How do I change my past? What do you mean? If I change my inheritance, the past changes? And if the past changes, the story changes, and the story changes, the emotions change, the emotions change, the thoughts, and then the action change? Kind of. So, of course, you can't change the past, but you can change the way the past influences you. So when you change the inheritance, of course, you don't change the money you received or the I don't know, the material stuff. You change what's inside you. And this change is way simpler and quicker than you think. It's literally like in a second, it gets changed. So if you come with a belief that there is not enough resources or there is never enough money from inheritance, that belief can be changed in a second, just like this. But you need to go through the steps, of course, to understand, and you need to have the right tools. And I'm going to share this with you as well. So when you change that belief, obviously the past is still the past. The past doesn't change, but your perception of the past changes. What actually happens, without going into a lot of technical details, it's the energy contained in that memory that changes. So when you actually change a belief, you change the energy contained in that belief. And that changes the energy contained in everything, and the energy contained in the past, the energy contained in the story, the energy contained in the emotion, and it neutralizes everything that is no longer serving you, everything that is stopping you from this alignment, everything. It changes the pieces that don't allow you to get what you want with joy, ease, and grace. Hope it makes sense. Are you still with me? Yes, no, just let me know in the chat how we are doing so far. I see a hand up. How are you receiving this? Okay, so yes. Are you enjoying it? Does it make sense? Yes, no? Okay, I'm getting more yeses and confettis and stuff. Super cool. Thank you for the feedback. So, one more concept that I want you to understand. Today, in present, right now, we create the future. And that's obvious, right? But today was created yesterday. The present was created in the past. The present is the result of the past. So if we want to change the future, we need to change the present. And if we want to change the present, we want to change the past. We have to change the past. And again, you can't change the past, but you change the negative energy that comes from the past. And if you think about it, everyone has a person that they go annoy that annoys them. And even when you think, just think of for a moment, think of someone that annoys you right now. You go, and it's just the thought is now associated with some negative emotions. Imagine these negative emotions literally go away. Of course, the thoughts that you have for that person are love, care, understanding, respect, everything else, but not the hate, not the resentments, not the guilt or the shame or whatever you associate with that person. All of those feelings, emotions, the energy contained in those is gone. And then you can have a fresh relationship with that person, a neutral behavior and feeling about that person, about the situations about that person, and anything that happened in the past with that person or around you and that person. And that's how it's done. And this change can be done, and it's much easier than what you think. So obviously everyone is like, oh, is it possible to align, and how long does it take, and what do you do? And because I've done, I went to psychologist, I went to therapist, I've done yoga, I've started this training and this training, and it's still not working. It's not working because, as I said, this piece, the inheritance, you can only work with energy there. So you need to understand, or whoever is working with you or helping you needs to have done the transformation and understand the energy contained in everything, and has and needs to have the tools to change that energy. That is called work in quantum field or quantum coaching. You can research these terms later on. That's also, some people refer to this inheritance as the Akashic records. So basically, like in a computer, everything that is in your computer or your phone can be stored in the cloud, and it communicates with the cloud. The cloud is something you don't see, but you know it's there, and you know that the information, you put it there and you can access it, and you know how to access it. If you understand this piece, it's exactly the same that is happening with the Akashic records. Akashic records is basically the library of everything that you've ever done in your life, and everybody else has done and felt and thought and said and etc. Everything. This is a library of energy that now we have techniques and we can access. And I am blessed to, I don't know if I learned or if I had these gifts and I just discovered I have these gifts, but I'm blessed that I can access this information. So I can connect to any person anytime, and I can read in their aura. I can access this information that is stored in the quantum field or in the Akashic records about themselves. And the same that you change or delete or change a file in your computer, from your phone or computer into the cloud, it's the same thing that I can do for everyone. With the permission of the person, of course, and it's only for the greatest good of that person, and it's only within and in the agreement and in alignment with the divine plan, because there is a force much bigger than us that we don't see or understand just yet, which governs everything. So this work and this communication in the Akashic records or in the quantum field can be done by different people in different ways. The way I do it, it's only according to the divine plan and for the greatest good of the person that I'm working with. So about being possible, I want to show you a very simple example, which hopefully will make you think or question the beliefs that you had, question what you thought is the reality. I have a flat in central London in this building, and I decided to rent it short term, so through Airbnb and Booking.com. And before it was rented long term to somebody else. And I had to change the internet, so I had to get a new contract on my name. The way it works is that they send a box, the Wi-Fi box, which then they connect to whatever their system. So the flat was already rented and I hadn't received that box, and it was very important for me to receive that box very soon. So the first attempt, the Royal Mail, they tried to deliver it, and I was not in the flat was rented, so they left me a card saying, oh, we missed you, sorry. So then the second attempt was on this day that I'm talking about right now. And I remember that I was in my boyfriend's house, which is about an hour drive from the flat, is outside London. And I called Royal Mail. It was about 2 o'clock, and they said to me, we haven't delivered yet. We can't redirect, so you have to be in the flat to receive the parcel. I'm like, should I go? Should I not go? Eventually, I say to my friend, you know what? I am going to go. And when I'm getting ready, he's like, you know, I'm not sure if it makes any sense to go because it might already be too late. So I'm like, I'm going anyway. As I got out of the motorway to go towards my flat, it was like only 5 minutes before reaching the flat. There was a traffic light, and at the traffic light, I check my phone and I see this email that you see now. So the parcel could not be delivered. So that means that the postman tried to deliver it, and he left with the parcel because nobody was in the flat. So look at the time, because it's important for the point I'm making. So that was almost 4. And look here, I took this print screen at 5 p.m. when I was already in the flat. And look at this picture. That's me with the parcel in the flat. That's when I took the picture. It was 5 p.m. when I took the picture, and I sent it to my boyfriend. So I took the print screen from the email, and I said, oh, I missed it. And then I took the picture of me with the parcel, and I said, but I got it. How is it possible? So on the way, and when I left the house, the Royal Mail, the postman had already left without delivering. So it was already a negative result, no delivery. On the way, I worked energetically on the blockages that were preventing me to receive the parcel and to install the internet with grace, joy, and ease. And when I arrived on the street, I saw the Royal Mail van. And I stopped just before arriving at my property. I stopped and I said, oh, I know that you tried to deliver and I'm here. Can you please give it to me? He looked at me and he said, do you have an ID? Okay, I show him an ID. And he delivered the parcel in the street. He took that picture that you see here. It was possible. So what happened? The energy of the blockage of me not receiving the device changed, and I received the device in a different way. So my invitation to you is to open yourself to receive, to achieve to manifest, to meet objectives in different ways, which could be easier than you think, easier than you plan, or easier than your current actions and let's say capabilities and skills. Because I did not think of that when I left home, and this is what the universe created for me. And it's changed because I changed the energy on the way to my flat.
Hi,
Oh, it stopped. I am very sorry. I think I know what happened. It's a blockage. It's a blockage that is preventing me to share this with you, but I will anyway. It's a 1 minute message that someone sent to me on WhatsApp, and I did the wrong sharing on the screen. So I'm going to share the screen again with share sound. Yeah, okay. No, I think I've done it again. So this one, share. Okay. Can you tell me if you're here?
Hi, Ozana. I was just talking about you. How funny. Since meeting you, things have changed significantly in my life. Just thinking about some of the things that you said to me, that I need to embrace my angels and things like that. What's happened is I've had well over £300 million worth of hotels given to me to sell, and today, just about within the last hour, I got a hotel, the largest hotel in London, for sale for £1.6 billion. Now, there's only a couple of people I know who could operate on that level, but I was just talking to somebody and calling your name and just saying that since I had this conversation with you and you told me the things that you did about my angels and what I needed to be embracing and what I was scared of, how significantly things have changed. I mean, also, I'm not taking anything away from the grace of God, of course.
So this is a real estate agent that came into my flat, in this flat where I'm right now, which I'm doing short-term lets now. And she asked me, oh, what do you do? So I said to her, well, I remove blockages from people so that they can achieve what they want. And she said, what is my blockage? What is my blockage? So I connected to her. It was literally only a 10 minutes discussion. And I told her something. She did what I told her. And she then got properties to sell. 1 point something billion pounds hotel, just a few in London to sell. And she never ever had that kind of deals. She was working as an employee when she came into my flat. She quit her job within, I think, 3 months. And she started her own journey as a real estate independently because she had too much properties to sell. That the reason why I share this is because it is possible. And that's a proof. And there are so many more proofs like that. When you work in quantum field, when you work somewhere there at the inheritance level, the soul level, miracles and magic is possible. And not many people know about it. And that's why not many people live with miracles and magic. But it is possible. And you're here to learn today. See, most people only believe what they can see, touch, smell, taste, etc., which is absolutely normal because that's how we were raised. That's how the whole society works. This is all we knew. But I want you to look at this picture, and hopefully you agree with me that there is light coming out of this hand, but you don't see the source. You don't see any lamp or any lantern or anything. How is this possible? This light that you see is in you, is in every single one of us. All we have to do is just to understand that it's here, accept that it's here, and understand and know and learn how to get to this light, because this light is the one creating magic and miracles. And then it's literally up to you to live with the old beliefs and in the old way and with the different things that you're not happy with in your life, or to accept this light and to get to it, to go through the process to reaching this light and having it in your life all the time. Now imagine what's possible when you access this light. A new house, a new car, a new life, a new relationship, holidays, all the stuff that everyone dreams of are very easily achieved with this light. And this is my life story. I never thought it was possible. When I broke up, that's the major thing that pushed me into this is the breakup from the relationship. And that was January 2019. I was living in London. My business was not working, literally no clients, no income, nothing, just struggle with my son, and which I needed to take care of, and my partner. When we decided to separate, I had no income, nowhere to live. I had this flat, but it was rented out and it was paying the mortgage and a little bit of the extra money. Very little out of the, in addition, well, besides what I needed to cover the expenses with the flat. And that was in January 2019. I did the inner work on myself and I started to change at soul level, because I went to one of my participants in my workshops, business workshops, which I could see there was something, she had something. And I went to her and I said, well, I'm struggling. The suffering is the biggest too big. The pain is unbearable, because he was going to other women and not spending time or nights, like few nights in a week, he was sleeping somewhere else. And I was absolutely devastated, knowing that he was giving other women what I wanted to receive from him and was not available. So I could not bear that pain and that suffering. So that's how I ended up going and asking for help and advice from that one person. And that one person, there were only two people in my all 60,000 entrepreneurs and coaches, therapists, psychologists, etc., that have been through my trainings, which had this thing, this light in them, this something, this spark. So I went to both of them and I did the courses of one, all of the courses, and the other one, she became my private mentor, and she started teaching and helping me change at soul level, this inheritage. And little by little, in few months, I saw this house in London on the way to taking my son to school. It was ugly, small, just like a box, literally 3 bedrooms upstairs and 1 living room and a kitchen downstairs. And I thought, maybe I can buy this house. Remember, I had no savings, no money, no income. And I called the agents. I put on, they showed me that house, and they showed me 2 other, well, they brought 3 brochures and they showed me another one cheaper, but I thought, no, that's definitely a no-go. And because I could see that house had big potential. And then I said, the third one, I don't want to see, because I'm buying this one. I made an offer, and by the end of the year, I got the house. That's magic. That's the light inside me, which I learned to access. And that's why I'm here, because I want to help as many people to access this light and bring magic in their lives when nothing seems possible, or some things look completely untouchable, impossible. You can do it. And that's my mission. That's my purpose. That's what I want. To bring as many people to these concepts and to get them to access the light. And I'll tell you how. So as I said, I'm not a cuckoo. I'm not a crazy woman. I am a former investment banker, venture capitalist, and business consultant. And I did my MBA at CAS Business School, now called BASE. I am a visiting lecturer. I am on the board of advisory for CAS, and I contribute quite a bit there. I am an award-winning woman, businesswoman. I contribute a lot to a TV channel in Romania. Sorry. Even Wall Street Journal, I had several interviews with them. I represented Tony Robbins. I was the only woman on stage with the whole Wealth Masters tour was Robert Kiyosaki, the only Romanian and the only woman on the whole tour. And I had my drawbacks. This house that you see was repossessed. The bank took it because I couldn't pay. That was back in 2009. And I'm a person that made 100,000 euros in a day, $200,000 in a day. And I lost with this deal 350,000 euros in one day when they sold the house. So I know the ups and downs, but I'm not going like this anymore. Now it's just steady going up. I published a book which became a bestseller on Amazon, which then became a series of 7 books. And then I published another one, which again became bestseller on Amazon as well. When I launched my business, the Business Growth Tool platform in Silicon Valley, they voted me top 100 women in tech. And all of that is the past. What really matters now is that I am a mom, a happy mom, a happy woman, and a happy partner. And that's what's most important to me now. All that wonderful, successful businesses and desire to make billions has changed. Was an amazing goal at the time, put me on the path, but now I live a fulfilled and happy life in harmony, in peace, in equilibrium, and objectives are being met with ease, and I manifest very easily, not everything I want, but a lot of the things I want. And I'm on the journey to manifesting the others as well. So as I said, where did I start this journey to light? From crisis, from pain, from struggle, from anxiety, from a difficult moment. And that pushed me to search, and it pushed me to search and to be open to completely new areas and new ideas, new perspectives on life, which I was dismissing before. So that's what I encourage you to do, to be open to anything, really. And that led me to this journey of transformation. And now, looking back at the struggle and the suffering from the relationship when I broke up, I realized that this was the best, the biggest, the wonderful, the most wonderful gift I ever received in my life. Because if it wasn't for that breakup, I would have not done the transformation. I would still be the old me, trying to control, criticizing, chasing money and power, and living a life that was not me, living a life that the society manipulated me to want. Now it's a completely different thing, which I had not even considered. Oh, sorry, when I was in that struggle. So any suffering and any struggle you have now, you can look at it like, oh, why is this happening to me? And why is it so painful? Why is it so difficult? Why? Or you can look at, what do I need to change? What do I need to learn? What do I need to transform so that I become a different person, that it gets out of that? And this is possible for everyone. I've seen it, not just me. I've seen it with my clients in one-to-one, in private sessions. I've seen it with the clients in the programs. If you commit to this change, if you commit to working within, then life is just amazing. It's much better than you can ever think of. So how would you like to live a life without obstacles? That's a question for you. That's a question for you that will trigger potentially some of those things in the circle, some thoughts like, oh no, I don't deserve that, no, I'm not allowed to live like that, and no, that's only possible for you, Zana, and for all these hundreds of people, but not for me. No, I'm special, I'm different, I'm any of those thoughts have a seed in your inheritance. Change that seed, change the energy around that seed, and everything else changes, and you can live a life without obstacles. And of course, everyone would have said at some point, and most people would say now, it's not possible, or how is it possible? It is possible. It's a journey that I invite you to do. It's not a one-off. It's not a quick fix. It's not something you do now and tomorrow your life is wonderful. It's a process. It takes time. But with everything you do, with every seed in your inheritance that you change, your feelings change, your bad emotions go away, the relationships change, your relationship with yourself, with others, with money, with job, with career, they change. And then little by little, life improves. Yes, to change the energy from the past. Yes, thank you very much. That's what I like you, Gail. I hope Gail is your name because that's what I see here. And thank you for that comment. So Einstein was saying insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Now you know why and how to change those behaviors and those actions. And it's up to you. Question is, what will you do? What will you do with this information? Change, whatever change you want to see in life, whatever actions you want to do different, or decisions to make different, or things or feelings you want to change within you, you need to go to the root cause. And the root cause is always in the inheritance. If you haven't sorted out by now, the root cause is within the inheritance, and that's where you need to change. So there are literally two steps. One is to identify the real reason why you haven't got what you want, or why you're stuck, why you're blocked, why whatever happens. And the other step is to transform the energy around it to neutralize it. That's all it is. Now, that's the easy piece. What you need to understand is that there are many roots. There are many seeds, many things that you need to change in that inheritance. It's not one or two. It could be 10 to resolve something. It could be 100 to make the biggest, a nice big jump towards a better life. Could be 1,000 to live a completely free and to manifest. It could be tomorrow. It could be in a month. It could be in a year. I don't know. You don't know until you start the process. I can't promise anything. All I can say is that it is possible for everyone if you commit yourself to the process and obviously to change. Now you have two options in terms of doing it. One is that you do it yourself, and the other one, I do it for you initially, with you afterwards, and then I empower you to do it yourself at some point in future. The way you do it yourself is, if you want, I developed this blockage identifier, which is really a framework, which you can see on the screen, just the main framework. And it's literally self-addressed questions, because when you dig, when you ask yourself questions, eventually you will get to the reasons why you don't get what you want, you didn't meet your objective. It's a process that initially might take a little bit of time, because you need to get used to asking yourself and getting the answer. But then the more you practice, the easier it is. Like now, for example, if I have something, and I do have things that I haven't achieved yet. I do have situations that I'm not happy with, but they don't trigger me. I don't have any emotion around them, no fear, no nothing. It's a situation, okay, it will be resolved. So the way I do it now, I just simply ask, okay, what do I need to learn, to see, to understand, to change, to transform, so that I resolve this situation with grace, joy, and ease? And I get the answer. I literally just get an aha. But it's a journey. It's a process to get to that point. And I want to be part of your process. I want to guide you if you want, or I can give you this tool and you do it yourself. This tool, I sell it for $100, and it's literally a session like this with a framework and with a handout. The session you see once and that's it, but then the handout is forever with you. You can print it or you can save it, and then it's you with you interacting with this blockage identifier. And if you want the rapid transformation, that's where I connect into your aura. And in each session, I identify and remove the biggest obstacle between you and what you want. Every time there is something else. It could be a bigger thing, or it could be a series of smaller things to get what you want. But it's not just about getting one thing. It's a process to transform yourself so you constantly can get what you want. It's not, I can, but I don't like to resolve one particular problem, although I do that many times. So a lot of the people come with me like, oh, I can't stand him. I want to break up, but I don't have the money to break up, or I have the money, but I don't know how, I don't want to split it with him. I don't want him to have the kids, etc. Any situation can be resolved through a series of sessions. Could be one session, could be a month, one session a week, or could be 2 months, 3 months. I don't know, unless I start and we see what we uncover there. My preference is to work with people long-term, like for a year. And then in a year, I am absolutely 100% sure that the life at the end of that year is far from what it was and far from what you thought it was or could be in your best dream when you start working with me. It's not cheap. It's $300 for one session, and that's why I give the option that you do it yourself, and you can have few sessions with me just to get going, and then you can start doing yourself. It's up to you. Everyone works differently. Everyone has different types of money or possibilities or time. Obviously, if you do it with me, it's quicker. If you do it yourself, is not as quick. And you may get it straight away, or you may go through a process which takes quite a bit of time. All of these, you find them on BUB Free, on bubfree.club. If you go to the English version, you find the private session, which is this one, or you find in programs the identifier, which I am going to deliver live for the first time in something like 2 weeks. And then once I deliver it live once, it's going to be recorded. It's on the platform and it will stay there forever.
When I discuss with people and start to argue, I just I don't get angry like before, and this change happened the next day, you know. So it's really it's amazing, but it's strange that it happened so fast. I thought it was a process to kind of change your behavior, but the day after I was like, okay, but if we see it this way, and you know, it was another level completely, immediately. So I'm very happy. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So this is an extract from a conversation with one of my clients. Of course, I've got her permission to share this with you. And she shared this with me. So I thought I think it was after 2 months of working, maybe 5, 6 sessions, she said that to me, but she had many ahas and many other changes. I just took this one because it's something that everyone can understand. The others were more personal to her, which I don't want to share. So why me? Because I've done this journey and I can guide you to do it faster than anyone else. I've been through the suffering, through the pain, through the struggles, through the anxieties, through the loads of fears and not knowing what to do. And I'm free now. That's the thing. I am free now, and I'm free not just financially. I'm free from the mind constraints, from the fears, from the limitations that are within me. And we at BUB Free, we have guided hundreds of people through different programs in the last 3 years, and they all live better. Of course, those that worked with the tools and interacted with us in the programs that we've done. I don't do that many programs. It's my partner, the one I mentioned to you that does most of the programs, the delivery, but we created the programs together. So now you literally have the option 1 to do nothing, and which is insanity, as you saw earlier, as you know already from Einstein. Option 2 is to figure it out yourself, by yourself, like reading more books or searching online, which you can get there eventually, but it takes time and you may or may never get there. Option 3 is a very popular one. A lot of people work with coaches or psychologists or therapists, etc. But it costs still, and it takes a long time. Option 4 is to work with consciousness, with conscious energy at soul level. And that gives you the great joy and ease in everything you do in your life every day. And that's something that only a few people or some people can do, because it's not, the consciousness of the humanity is not there yet. And I'm one of the pioneers. I discovered that I have these gifts, and I'm happy to do it if you want, if you choose me as your guide. So you choose. You can get the blockage identifier, and which is the framework, as I said. It's on BUB Free website, or you can do private sessions with me, the rapid transformation sessions. Once a week is ideal. And the prices now, I decrease them so that literally everyone can do it. So it's donation only. And for the blockage identifier, it's not $100. You can pay any money between any amount between $19 and $100. Whatever is that you consider, it's received with gratefulness, with grace. And I'm very happy, and I thank you for whatever it is that you decide to pay. If you want to work with me privately, as I said, it's because it's private, they are relatively expensive, and also because we achieve in one session what some people have done with other therapists for 6 months, and they still didn't manage to achieve, because I go to the soul, to the root cause, and that is $300. At the moment, I decrease this price. So on the website, you can get a tester, one session, first session, for $100. So you see if it makes sense for you, if you like my style, and then you can decide to take a package. Obviously, if you take a package, it's less than $300, depending on the number of sessions you buy. So that was my presentation. And now I would like to open it to questions. If you want to get any answer to any question, if you want to share anything with me, how you received this presentation, what it meant to you, it would be really, really great. Yes, to change the energy from the past. Thank you. Just give me one comment, one word of what it meant to you, what you got out of this, one aha that you got out of this. It resonates. Super. Thank you very much. Any questions, you can put them here. You can contact me afterwards, after the sessions, through the email that you received. The price, I decreased them now so that you can get them now if you want to get a discount. If you don't get them now and you decide in a month, there will be the price, the regular price. It's literally up to you. I learned all these techniques to buy now, which I was teaching in business, and I don't like them anymore. I think they are putting pressure on people is not the right thing. People come to me when they are ready to transform, when they say, okay, I've had enough of this, whatever it is that I didn't like, and I want to change. That's when they come to me. So if that's you, I'm happy to work with you, and you can go to the website and get them now. I can also put them in Zoom in the chat. I can copy and put them here. So it's easier, but if you go to BUB Free English version, you'll find there. So you can copy from the chat. I feel it would be good. It's like finding the key to unlock the past. Exactly. It is wonderful. Thank you, Gail, for putting it in these beautiful words. It is finding the key to unlocking the past and changing the negative effects that the past has on you. Sounds good. A taster session would be good. I'm happy to have it, and then you see then you continue by yourself. Maybe one session is enough to unblock, and then you can do by yourself afterwards, or maybe you need more. It's what everyone knows. My soul comes with baggage I want to become more aware of. Thank you for the comment, and I hope and believe that you are becoming more aware of these in our sessions, and not just becoming aware, but also changing them. Everyone has this big baggage. The question is if you want to know about it and obviously change, or if you just want to live with it, what people in my field call ignorant, because you ignore something that is about you, is within you, and you just push it aside because some people might find it's not the right time to start changing, and they need some more suffering. It's an individual choice. Everyone awakens whenever the time is right. So I do appreciate you for being with me until the end. Thank you very much for coming here. I will share this session online, so I will send the link to the recording. You can see whatever makes more sense for you. You can rewatch some parts, and please do send me a message and tell me how it helped, if it helped, and what you want to do. If you want me to to help you further, I'm happy to. You find things that uproot you, and that's what you need to address. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. Thank you, and have a nice evening. Bye.